designers, welcome to today's tutorial where we will learn how to make a bubble skirt. I'm so sorry that I've stepped away for a long time, but I'm happy to be back here to still put us through drafting process and then the sewing of some simple stuff. So for today we're going to be drafting a bubble or balloon skirt. So I have my fabric here. This fabric is actually Mikado. I'm using 2 yards for this. So I'm going to fold the fabric as you see into two. I'm going to fold the fabric into two. So I'll just do that right away. Okay. And then I'll flip it over and fold into four. Okay, so this is it. First two and then four. At this point, I'm going to take the waist circumference of the client or your waist circumference. The waist circumference here is 21, and then we'll divide that by 6.28. The waist circumference divided by 6.28, and you put the measurement here. So this, the waist circumference divided by 6.28. I'm not going to add allowance to this because whenever I use that, I still have a little excess of the waist. So sometimes I need to take out maybe 1 inches just to have 0.5, just to have the exact waist measurement. So for this case, that allowance that will be there will become my zip allowance, since I'm going to add zip to this. So the waist circumference divided by 6.28 gives the measurement here. And remember that the length of my flay is 11, but for this case I'm going to cut my flay at 23 inches because I'm going to flip this over to this point, and when that is done I'll be left with 11 inches. So I'm cutting this at 23 for the length that I'm using. You'll understand this, but what I want is actually 11. Okay, but I'm going to be cutting right now at 23. So let's say 11 plus 11 is 22. I'll be needing 1 inch for joining allowance. When I get to drape this, you get to understand better. So this is me taking the length of the skirt from that point. I don't know if you can see. I know my chalk is not very clear. So if you want to see, you can stand there and see. So I'll just go ahead and measure all around. Please give me my scissors. Thank you. So I'll cut this right now. It's the new scissors. very heavy, so it's taking time. So here is the waist. To help me, I'm going to mark this point. One of it is going to become my zip allowance, and one of these points is going to probably become my front, the center of my front. So here becomes side. I have to mark this because balloon flare, if you don't do it, you realize that after picking the balloons, you have the shape looking somehow on the bottom side. So I have to be sure of this point. This is going to be by my side joining, just as you've seen in this blouse. So at this point, it's going to be attached to my side, and then this point is going to be attached to the zip, and this point is going to be attached to the center front. So I have to take note of that on the waist side and also on the bottom side, so that when I'm draping on the waist side, it will align. So I'm taking note of those points. I'm taking note. Okay, so that is it. And then I'll pick up one side and cut it open. That becomes my zip allowance point. Okay, I'll make here just so you know that this is the zip allowance. Okay, so I'm taking this to the dummy right now, and I'll just drape it on the dummy for you to see. Let's get there. Just beginning in one. So here is the center that I mentioned earlier on. I'll pin this here, and then the side is exactly where it should be. I just want to drape this for us to see, and then the other side, I'll do the same thing. The back, pin it to the back. Equally pin this to the back as well. Okay, so for the downside, remember I had equally indicated on the downside. I'm going to pick this over to here. I want to make sure that center to center of both the upper side and the lower side are the same. So I'll just pin this, and then equally make sure that the side, remember I've marked it okay, so this side and this side point is also the same. And then the back, of course, the back and the back. So what this means is that I'm going to gather all of this into here. I'm going to gather all of this into here. Okay, so by the time I do this with the machine, you can see that it's already coming out. Why I have to do this is because if you don't get this right,
By the time you get that, you'll be having some rough looking edge because perhaps the side that is supposed to be on the side, you've taken it to some other point, and when that happens, you will not have this equal shape on the floor, downside of the balloon or the bubble skirt. So we want it to align very well. That's why I had to take time to mark all of that. So if I pin this or gather this to that point, and equally gather this to this point, you can already see that it is coming out. Okay, so once I'm done with the machine sewing, I'm going to bring it to us to see the outcome of the bubble skirt. So it's already coming out beautiful. So let me get this to the machine and finish and then bring it for us to see. Thank you.